Hey there, it's me, Jester, your favorite camp director, and welcome to my garage. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about the 10 essentials for the backcountry for survival. So these are 10 things that would be most recommended for you to have if you're going into the backcountry. The first thing you should consider bringing with you is something for navigation. So that could be things like a map. It could be things like using a compass as well as a map. Or it could even include a GPS system, which would make it a lot easier. But it's really important to always know where you're going, and you always should tell someone where you're going just in case something happens, as well as telling them when you can expect to be back. So this way, they know that you're not back at a certain time. They'll have a good idea of where to look. So the second thing you should consider bringing with you is something for sun protection. So those of you who get sunburned, you already have a good idea of what this means, but it's really important for everyone of all skin types to consider sun protection because the sun does release powerful rays such as UV rays, which can cause things like skin cancer and melanoma. The ways you can combat that in the wild is wearing a hat, for example, is a good option. Perhaps wearing sunglasses when it's really bright outside, and even putting on some sunblock and just, getting ready for the day. The third thing you should consider when you're going to the backcountry is your clothing. I like to go with the 3 W's, which are wicking, warm, and waterproof. So wicking means things that are quick dry. So light material that's breathable, that if you start to sweat, it'll evaporate quickly, it'll keep you cool so you don't get overly hot. Also, if you get very sweaty and your shirt's drenched in sweat and it starts to get cold out, it will also cause you to get cold. So having moisture wicking materials are really great for those purposes to help keep you warm, keep you dry and comfortable. The second W, which is warmth, there are many options out there, but anything that you think would make sense for you to bring to keep you warm. So that could be sweatpants, maybe it's just warm leggings or trousers. You can bring a sweatshirt. I prefer flannels, they're my personal favorite when camping. Just something that you can keep on, just something that can keep you warm when it starts getting cold. And lastly, the third W, waterproof. So there is a chance that when you go outside, it could rain, or it could even snow. And getting cold and wet is not fun when you're outside for a long time. So make sure you include something waterproof, like a light raincoat. I couldn't find my light raincoat, but this one works too. The fourth thing on my list that you should really bring with you and consider, especially if you're staying overnight, is a flashlight or some form of light. I like headlamps, keeps your arms free so you can do stuff with your hands and continue on and be able to see. Handheld flashlights work great, there's lanterns, there's so many great options. In some survival situations, they could also be used as a signal. You can use glow sticks, all these things. There's many, many options out there. I just think the headlamp's the best for being able to do things in the dark and still be able to have a light. The fifth thing on my list is a first aid kit or first aid supplies. So this is something that you should really consider when you're going to the backcountry because you never know. Things could happen. You might get sick, you might trip and fall and get hurt, you don't know. So when you are packing things for your kit, you might want to pack everything you have. However, let's be smart about it. Especially if you're someone who is into light packing, I like to pack minimally. So on my first aid kit, I always include things that I know I can't make up or replace in nature. So I'll bring things like pain medication, like ibuprofen, antihistamine for in case there's something with allergies going on, maybe some Tums in case I have a stomach issue. I like to bring medications with me because things like bandages, you can always make one out of a shirt or a bandana, but always include some sort of first aid kit. Additionally, if you take medications, that is really important to bring with you as well. The sixth thing on my list is something to start a fire with. So that could be lighter, that could be waterproof matches, it could be some sort of fire starter, it could be flint and steel. There are many different ways that you can make a fire outside. Additionally, if you're backcountry camping and you're not allowed to have fires, they'll recommend propane stoves or portable stoves that you can use with you when camping as well. The seventh thing on my list is tools. So things like knives are great. I have this pocket knife, it's a Gerber tool. It has many different things in it. has a bunch of multi-tools which are vastly useful for very different reasons, like a mini saw, there's like a can opener in here, as well as some scissors, a little screwdriver, and so much more. So having tools just in case is really important. An additional part of tools is also repair kits. So if you are going to go backpacking, and let's say most backpacking kits at this point come with a small repair kit, or you can pick one up in case there's a hole. And it's like things you might need to patch things up and replace so that you can continue your journey. The 8th thing on my list is food. Be considerate about the food that you're bringing with you. There are a lot of great options out there for dry foods for backpackers, but even if you're going for a short hike, consider bringing some sort of snack with you in case you get stuck out there for a long time. And think about the food choices you're making. Like, I would recommend bringing trail mix because they have nuts in it, they have some sugars in it, so you have the protein and the fat, which is really good for your body. It'll give you some energy. A peanut butter and jelly sandwich is a quick energy burst because of the carbs in it and the sugars as well. I don't recommend packing a bunch of Skittles or candy. Definitely if you want to, go for it. But think about the foods and what they're going to do for your body. So granola bars are a good option because it's good. It can give you that long sustainable energy that you need. Fruits or vegetables are also really great options as well. The 9th thing on my list is water. So when you're out there, you're going to need to stay hydrated. So most of you will pack a water bottle. Maybe you have a backpack that has a water bladder in it that you can drink out of. It's like long straw. Those are all great options. But let's say you run out of water. It's very important to have enough, so things you might consider bringing with you. There's like these little tincture jars. They come with little tablets that they'll tell you out what measurement of water you need. You drop in these many tablets and it'll purify the water for you of all the bacteria that could be in it. You could also boil water, which is really easy as well. You want to just put it in a pot, bring it to a boil it for a few seconds, and that will kill all the germs in it as well. And another option is water filters. There's a great amount of water filter systems out there that are portable that will pump directly into your water bottle, or it'll be a bag that has a filter where we'll use gravity to clear out the water. But make sure you have something for water. And the 10th thing on my list, last but not least, is shelter. This is something really important to protect you from the elements, especially if you're going to be staying overnight or if the weather changes and becomes dangerous for you to stay outside, where you could be at risk for hypothermia, or even extreme heat exhaustion as well. So finding shelter from the sun, the wind, the rain, snow is really vital for your survival. So there's many different things you can do. You can always find a shelter like a cave. Make sure it's empty first. No visitors at night, please. You could build a shelter out of natural material like sticks and leaves and branches and all that. Another option you can bring with you, you can bring a tarp. And with your awesome tarp, you can suspend it between trees and build a little shelter tent. I would recommend for that also bringing some rope so you can hang it. Another thing important to consider is a tent. Whether it's a one-person backpacking tent or a four-person tent. Tents are great too. A lot of times they come waterproof, sometimes you might have to waterproof them yourself, but tents are a great option. Additionally, things like a bivvy, which is like a small thing that's kind of like a weird mega sleeping bag that you go fully inside, that acts like a mini tent sleeping bag all in one, is an option. Sleeping bags in general, make sure you get one that matches the warmth that you will need. So if it's really cold, make sure you get one of those very cold weather sleeping bags, but also if it's really hot out, get a lighter sleeping bag. You don't want to wake up and sweat. Also, another thing to consider is a sleeping pad to go under your sleeping bag. It helps insulate you from the cold ground as well as even out some lumps if you're laying on some rocks or roots. I gotta clean the garage now. Alright, well, thank you so much for tuning in and listening to the 10 essentials for the backcountry and survival. I hope that you have an awesome day and you get outside.